So team, welcome back to the continuation session 2 for our Mastering Selenium tutorials. What we're going to do is continue with our training and our learning, and we will focus on IDE. I believe it will take us about 3 sessions in total to get comfortable on Selenium IDE fundamentals and basics. Then we can get into the core Java training, followed by WebDriver, and then the data-driven framework. All right. Now, let's take a quick recap of what we did in the previous session, and then we can move forward. So what we did very quickly is that we went through how we could install FireFox, how you could get the latest Selenium IDE from seleniumhq.org and put that as an add-on or a plugin into your Firefox browser. We also did some basic recording of one test and how the automation works at a very, very high level. Now, do note that as we go along, the complexity of what we're doing will increase, and it will increase significantly because there is a lot to learn, and we will be able to do that one step at a time. However, as long as you're focused and you're learning with me, I am very sure that within 2 weeks, you will reach a significant stage of your learning on Selenium. All right. Now, let's look at what is it that we're going to do today and then move forward. Okay. I have put some of my thoughts of what I wish to cover in here. What we will do is we will go about taking a deeper look into the automation basics, because unless you and I know how to automate, it is like you want to work in a manufacturing plant, but if you don't know the basic mechanics, okay, how things work in a mechanical engineering, you may not be that successful. Okay, a very important concept called what and where. What are these different things called command, target, and value in the IDE? How we can run multiple test cases. We will install an additional great feature and an add-on called Firebug onto your Firefox, and we will look into some element identification basics. Okay, in the next session, through which we can conclude IDE, this is the session 3, we will master the art of element identification using XPath. We will also create IDE tests without recording. So you basically will write and do everything on your own. We will look at what is the HTML format for these tests and how can we convert it into various other formats. Okay, so that's going to be session 3. So before I get started into session 2, what I did is I prepared this quick template. What is this template? This template is basically a place where I can hold some good information about what is it that we are doing and what is it that we should be doing. All right. So quick second, please, before I get started there. All right. If there's any issue, please let me know. If individually each of you are facing any issues in terms of audio or something, please check at your end, because there are over 100 participants and they all can hear me fine. Okay. Now, what I'm trying to do is anything that we do, why don't we try and put it up in a very organized fashion? Why? Because it is going to make our life much easier. How we go about doing things, it will make it much easier for us. Okay. So now I am saying that let us write everything as a test case and then go about doing it. What is a test case? A test case is nothing but a series of certain steps that have a specific beginning, it has a specific ending, and you expect the application to behave in a certain manner. For example, a test case can be that when a user goes and opens a default Firefox browser, you would see a Google search bar here, and once a Google user enters information, he or she is able to search. That is a test case, sometimes also called as your scenario. Now, in our case, we have done one search yesterday. Sorry, one test case yesterday. What was it? I said a test case where a user enters a first name, last name, and email address only, and let's say clicks on sign up. Okay. what happens at that time. So that is a functionality. So I'm going to write this as, how did we name the test case that we did yesterday? FB for Facebook, SU for sign up, TC001. Okay, so I'm going to write FB, SU, TC001. Now, if I'm not doing automation and I'm just a manual test engineer, what is it that I would do? I would visit visit facebook.com, okay, enter first name, okay, then enter last name, then enter email, then I'm going to say click on sign up. I want to see what happens in this process. Now, what did I just do? I wrote one test case which has a few steps into it. And these are those individual steps that will make it easy for us to identify what is it that we're going to be doing. Okay, so I have just put the steps so that it is easy for us to identify what to do. Now, if I ask you to help me to execute this, you are easily able to understand. Visit facebook.com, yes, but you can ask a question like, which browser do you want to use? Do you want to use a Chrome or a Safari or an IE or a FireFox, and which version? All right, those are the questions that you typically ask. Why? Very simple. When you're testing, the environment or the circumstances under which you're testing is very, very critical. Okay, for example, if let's say that I'm doing a crash test for an automobile, okay, so I want to see what happens if I am going at 80 miles per hour and hitting a brick wall. What would happen? If I'm going at 30 miles per hour and hitting something, or if I get slammed from the left or slammed from the right, what happens if the road was icy or it is absolutely uncontrollable? So those are the environments, or those are the external factors against which you're testing. So the test results may vary depending on how you're, or where, what conditions you're testing. That is why you need to ask these specific questions. Then enter first name. Okay, do you know where is the first name? So this Excel, I'll keep it here. This Windows 8 that I'm using, little tricky, but again, we get used to it. We have to either way. Okay, so, okay, I see first name here, I can enter it. But what is the data? What data do I need to enter? That is important. The same for last name. I can enter a last name, but what data? Same for email. What data? Why is it different? What happens if I give spaces or some different characters in the first name? Will the system take it up? Is it supposed to take it up or not? Okay. Then click on sign up. This is okay. We can easily see that there's a sign up button here. Then we can click. So for example, if I repeat the same steps and say Karthik, okay, eLearn, all right, and then let's say karthik.elearn@gmail.com and click on sign up, then what is supposed to happen? I should see this text called you must fill in all of the fields. That is my test finally. User must see the message. You must fill all of the fields after under the sign up button. Now this is your test case team. Okay. Now if I show you this, is it easy for you to understand what this test case is all about and what you're supposed to be doing? Can you do it? Can you repeat it multiple times for different sets of data? Yes. Now what would happen? You would take, let's say, about 2 minutes to test it for one set of data. Okay. I'm saying 2 minutes. Now I have 25 different combinations of data information. Okay. And let's say I have to do it on 4 different types of browsers. Okay. And I have to do it also on 3 different types of machines. So now what happened? It is 25 into 2, 50 into 12, about 600. 50 into 12 is about 600. Yeah. So 600 minutes of effort is required to test one test case each time you want to test it. Okay, so in Jan, Facebook launched one version. Okay, and in Feb, Facebook launched second version, and in March, Facebook launched third version. Each time Facebook launches a new version, you are supposed to be going and testing not only the old functionality, but also the new functionality that was added and some of the old functionality that was changed. That is the regression testing. You're repeating your testing for everything that is affected, things that are new, and also overall the system, the way it is supposed to behave. Okay, so for this test to be done, you spend for one test case, 600 minutes is what, 10 hours here? You spend 10 hours here and you spend 10 hours here. All right, so you spend 30 hours for one test case. All right, let's say that I have 200 test cases like this. Okay, so you are looking at about 6,000 hours of effort for each release. Okay, is it accurate? Yes, probably it is accurate because I will make sure that I have good testers. Is it repeatable or reusable? Manual testing? No, I have to do the same things over and over again. The only thing is I might get a little faster. It is like when I start jogging or running, I might only be running at about 4 miles an hour. But at the end of 6 months of training and practice, I might be running at 7.5 or 8 miles an hour maximum. But that there's a limit to it, right? There's a limit to what you can do manually. But then you get onto your skates or you get onto your bike, you're doing it about 15 miles or 20 miles an hour as well. So the efficiency, the accuracy, and the reusability, these are very critical. And that becomes a challenge with manual testing. And I gave you a simple scenario of one test. So then what is the solution? There came the IDE. There came the tool that will help us to do the same thing again. How? We did something very similar yesterday. What did we do? Let me erase these drawings. All right. I hope each of you are able to go back to the website and watch the videos of what we're doing. Yesterday we recorded a test case and we saved it. Today I can open the old one and you can select that specific HTML file. When you save a Selenium IDE test on your machine, it gets saved as a HTML file. Once you open it, you will see all the steps that were generated at that time. Now, are these the steps that you want? Yes, but I think there are some additional steps. Okay, so now what you need to understand is for a system to learn how to perform these steps, it needs a specific set of data. All right, it needs to help itself to asking a specific set of questions. And answering that is what it will do. It is very simple. Example is, what can I give as a good example? Let's say that you have, I mean, again, there's so many examples I can give. But okay, let's say that you have a new vehicle, okay, a new car. And what happens is, in this new automobile, you have a way where you switch from a hybrid to a fuel or to a solar with the touch of a button. So there is a system that behaves exactly depending on what you do. Okay, if you press hybrid, it is supposed to be going on a hybrid. If you press something, it's supposed to be doing that. So the system has been designed in such a way that you give the instruction or input to it, it will perform an activity or an output on it. Okay, so the input that you need to give, it should be so clear and so easy for it to understand in its own manner that it can perform it. Okay, it is like almost like a robot. A robot takes instructions in the manner it understands. However you send it, as long as it can understand, it can do that specific thing. So for automation testing, what you need to do is answer two very, very basic questions. Okay, the question one is, what is it that you want me to do? This next question is, where is it that you want me to do? There is a what and there is a where. What are these two questions? Okay, so let's say if I want to teach a dog, all right, I have a new pet and it's a dog. Okay, so let's say I want it to fetch the paper. So What is it that I want it to do? Fetch. What? The paper. So I should be able to teach it that this is the paper. What do I want you to do? That this is the paper that I want you to fetch. Where is the paper? I have to also tell it that the location of the paper is there. Now you have to go and fetch. So the two keywords are fetch is the activity that we need to perform, and paper is the object or where that is located, where you perform that activity. So if you're driving a car and if I say turn right, you will say, okay, what do you have to do? Turn right. But where? Which intersection? Turn right at the next signal or at the next traffic lights. And that is when you can turn the, make that change. Similarly, for a tool like Selenium IDE, it needs such instructions. And those instructions are provided by this command and target. Command is the what portion. What is it that you want Selenium IDE to perform? What does it want to do? You want to open. Open is basically you want to open a website. Type is basically you want to type something and so on. Okay, if you do click, it will try and click something. So this command out here is your what. All right, your target, this is your what. Okay, your target is your where. Okay, I can open something, but where do you want me to go? Where should I open URL? So it says facebook.com is already here. Just go to the base URL by providing slash. Okay, or it's saying type. Type is basically you want it to type something, but type where, and that is provided out here. So this is the identification. This is the activity that needs to perform. Okay, and then you have this additional optional column called value when you have to provide additional details of what you need to type or what you need to click on, not click on, what you need to select from a drop down list and so on. Then you have this value out here. Alright, so that is your basic component of what and where. If you can answer those questions, you have done your successful automation for this test case. So now what is it that I need to do? I want to make sure that these tests are reflected out here. Visit facebook.com. That is the first step. Now, is that something that you see here? Yes. The first step is performing this. And that is also, it is basically saying that it is going to open where? Here. All right. On the IDE, the other section that you should refer, apart from the window which has the entire table of steps that you perform, is this reference section. Reference section is like a guide. As you go about playing with the tool, you will see these things getting generated out here, and you will see the description of what it is in an English manner. Okay. Do you need to read it? No. As long as you get the basic concepts, that is important. Okay. Now, if you say open, this is the target. If you say type, you will see that there are different values that you need to give for type. For the target, which is where you will perform that activity, you have to give some kind of an identification. And that identification is something we will use experts strongly to work on that. Okay. How do we use things like ID or name or either absolute or relative experts? We will get into. But this is a very, very important section for you to master, which we will do in the next session. And then the value is what we will type. Okay, so far so clear. Now let's try and match these steps to what we see here. Do I see a place where I can open? Yes. Why will it open only this? No, it has to open facebook.com. Okay, this is how it will do it. If it already has a base URL, it will open it from that. And this is saying go to the root folder, which is facebook.com. There is no complexity in what I just said. It is as is. Okay, so please do not get any confused than what it is, what I'm showing out here. Sorry about that. So now what we need to do is you need to identify what is next. You're going to perform type, and where you're going to perform ID equals first name. How do I know what is this? Where is this going to be working? How do I know that? The way we will do it is this. Do you see the application? Okay, now click on that specific step. As soon as you click on the step, you would see the same command, target and value being displayed out here in this section. Alright, so this section shows you the same information here. Why? This is the place where you can edit it. Let's say instead of type you want to do something else, you can change it here. Let's say you've learned XPath and you want to change the identification of that element, you can change it. Let's say instead of Karthik you want to say Peter. Alright, you can change it here. But also very importantly, there is this button called Find. Find is a way for Selenium IDE to confirm if it can see that element on the website. So when you click on Find, it is supposed to highlight that specific element. So let's say I go to the next step, and let's say that here I say Peter Pan. That's the name, and I want to say find Peter Pan. Do you see that? It is not the value, it is the location of that element on the website that it is important. Okay. Now, a quick overview about element identification, the depth of which we will cover tomorrow. How does Selenium IDE know that ID equals last name, whatever Greek and Latin that we see here, doesn't matter right now, is referring to this section specific web edit field. This is called basically an edit field on your web page. Okay. How do you know that it refers to this? The way it does is it actually goes and looks at the source of the HTML source of this web page. Every web page has something called as a HTML source. This is the way that you could represent how the web page displays. The UI that you see, or the user interface, or the graphical user interface that you see, is because of what you see as a HTML code out here. So if you change this code here, the user interface also here will change. The specific information that you're looking here is something that is located on this page somewhere down. Okay, you would see that this specific information is located in the website in the HTML source out here. Now, why is it not shown? Because what a lot of websites do is they encrypt using JavaScript. They encrypt their entire code into simple things. So only once it loads up on the site does it show the specific details. Okay, so you are seeing the crypted code, so you need to decrypt it and then be able to see that. When I show you Firebug shortly, I will show you the solution for it. But for now, how does Selenium IDE know that this, for example, is referring to this email address? Is it takes the value in the target and searches magically through the HTML source to figure out where that is on the web page. Now that it found, it can perform that command. Okay, so having said that, let's continue. So I've done type, I've done this, I've done this. Hey, do I need 2 of these sentences? No, 1 of them is enough for me. So I can delete the last one. All right, I've deleted this, and I want to make sure that this is corrected. So whenever I want to edit, I will correct it. Now, what is it that I have to do next? I have to click on sign up. Is my test case having that click on sign up and user must see this message? No. So what do I need to do? I need to teach Selenium IDE again about it. How can I do it? The way I can do it is 2 ways. One is I record everything again, or I have an option to select the next empty line or next line where I want to start the record from. Say click to record. Okay. Then click on sign up. As soon as I click on sign up, you will see that step also has come. Click is a command that lets you click on a specific element. Anything that you see on the web pages, they are called as elements. Remember, element is a very, very important thing. So when I say elements, anything could be an element. This text, this box, this button, this radio box, and so on. Okay. If someone of you, any of you are beginner level into automation testing, HTML is a good thing for you to know. what you should use is you should go to w3schools.com. There's enough free tutorials there, or you can use YouTube. There are also some free tutorials on my website on HTML that you can refer to. Okay, but it's a good skill for you to have. Now we have done click name equals we submit. Now what I want to do is I want to do the next one. What is the next one? The next step according to my test case is this. User must see the message. You must fill in all of the fields under the sign. Okay. I manually can see, but how can I teach Selenium, which is a robot, to see? It doesn't have eyes, but it should be able to see something here and say, is it there or not? How can it do that? The way to do it for Selenium is right click on the text that you want to verify. Okay, right click on the text that you want to verify, and you will see various commands that are available. Now I think these are the commands that will come after Firebug or with IDE, I don't remember. But before that, what we will do is we will install a very simple tool called Firebug. Okay, go to google.com. All right, these are so simple instructions that you should just perform it as you are practicing, and search for Firebug. All right, once you search for Firebug, you will see getfirebug.com. Click on it. Once you click on getfirebug.com, see, actually if you see, all the steps that I'm doing right now are getting recorded. Do you want it to get recorded? No. So just stop the recording. All right. And then click on install Firebug. This will install the latest version of Firebug. What you should do is use the most stable release, which is suitable for the version that is currently there. Okay. So Firebug 111.1 for Firefox 17 and higher, 17 to 20. Okay. You can see the version of your Firefox out here. It should be under about Firefox. You should see the version. This is 19 version. Okay, so you can use that and click on download. All right, once you download it, you can install it as an add-on onto your system. Okay, so just say add to Firefox, and then what will happen is you will see this new thing called Firebug on your Firefox browser. What is Firebug? Firebug is a way that you can use to see the code behind a HTML page. You can look at the HTML, you can look at the CSS to see the style sheets that were used for that. You can also look at a lot of JavaScripts. Okay, so it is a very, very simple free tool and absolutely essential for you to have to be able to look into, peep into that HTML code. Okay, so once you do add to Firefox, you would see that it is available for you at the top. Okay, I already have it installed. I can say install now, and if you want, it may ask you to restart Firefox. Okay, so once it is installed, you can go to Firefox. Under Web Developer, you will see this Firebug. Okay, that is the icon, that is Firebug. You will also see this icon appearing on the taskbar on your menu bar of the browser itself. All right, so now you have done Firebug. Why have we done Firebug? Very simple. You have done Firebug so that it will help us with the following. What is this? Okay, this is an additional browser. I don't need this. Close tabs. Now, okay. So which is the junk set of lines that got generated? So I did shift and then selected all the lines. Now I'll right click and say delete these lines. Okay. So simple commands, just like your Excel or something, you can start using on it. Now, after you've submitted, clicked on this new submit, what you're going to do is you want to verify if this text has come. To do that, what you will do is right click on this text, and you will see that inspect element with Firebug. Under that, there are a few commands. And team, this is a very, very important area for you to use and learn and master this Selenium IDE, the commands portion. Okay, I don't want you to read through the commands as a book. I want you to do it through practice only. Okay, now when you see show all available commands, it will show you everything that you can do. What is it that you can do on this this type of an element. If I, for example, click on sign up and say show all available command, it will show me what I can do on this type of an element. Or if I do it here and I'll say show all available commands, it will tell me what I can do on this type of an element. Okay, so you can right click on this text and say show all available command. It will show you everything that you can do. Okay, you can assert. It is basically to ensure that a text is present, and it is an important step for you to do as part of your test. Okay, or you can verify that a text is present, or verify the title of the page, or verify various other things. Okay, don't get confused. It is just simple things. Each thing's assert is what the first word is what is important. After that, it will become easy. It is almost English-like commands that you will perform. Wait for the text to present. Why? Because sometimes the page will take time to load, and the text will come after some seconds. So you want to wait sometimes. So depending on what command you give, it will perform that. The command that I want is to verify if that text called you must fill in all of the fields is there. And here is the statement for it. So you can click on it here. As you continue to use different commands, you will see they will come up out here as most frequently used ones. You don't have to go to show all available commands. Okay, so now you can click on verify text present and it should get added. Oops. Okay, record, right click, verify text present. What happened? Where is it not adding to it? Is it because I opened multiple browsers? Let me try on somewhere else. Birthday, verify text present. I am not able to add that here. Okay, why? What can I do then? What I could do is, in that case, let me start typing the command myself. I'll say verify. Do you see? As I start typing, it's an Ajax-like feature where you will see all the things that start with verify coming up automatically. Next word is text present. Okay, this is the one we want. You can also use the reference to make sure that this is what you want. What is the target? The target is this text. This is the text that you want to see anywhere on the web page. Copy that and put it up here. Okay, and now you say find. Actually, you cannot find it like this, but if I right click and see this command, yeah, this is what it is, verify text present. See, you must fill it. It will actually give you the entire command for it. It will not just give you it's not giving you some text of it. It is giving you the command of identifying the target also. For example, here I said verify value ID equals this. Okay, if I do the same thing here, verify value ID equals last name underscore ITeLearn, and that is what we could use here as well. Last name value is ITeLearn. So this is separated by spaces out here. Now, team, before I go further, let me see if I can answer anything, but let me quickly do one test run for this test case, and then we will do it. Since it did not add it, I added it myself. Was it supposed to add it? Yes. Why it didn't add it? I'm not sure. Probably because I mixed up a couple of browsers together, and I stopped the record. Probably something went wrong in the whole process. Okay, but easiest thing for me to do is try and redo it or start a new test case. But it was easy for us to write a command there. All right, now let's see. Now that we have done finished this test case, we will just simply do an execution. What we will do when we do an execution is it will perform all the steps, and at the end it has to see if this is getting displayed. You must fill in all of the fields. Why hasn't this text it said? So basically every step that is in this light green color is a pass, or there is no failure in that. However, the last one where it said you must fill in all of the fields, this failed. Why did it fail? I honestly don't know. I'm not sure why it failed. But the best thing for me to do is you do a new test case and experiment and see what is gone wrong. Okay, so I'm going to say this is Peter. All right, and oops, not recording yet. So get it back to recording. So write Peter. What happened? I think it stopped recognizing that browser itself altogether. And what we will do is we can open up again another browser. Start recording. Go to facebook.com. Still not recording. See, that's a defect in the IDE itself. IDE itself seems to be having this defect. No problem. What we'll do, simple. I'm going to close this. Restart everything. I'm sure this time it should work. Firefox is already running, but is not responding. See, there is something that is happening in the background with Firefox. So I can look at where that is running, kill it, so that it doesn't interfere with what we're doing. Firefox, is it here? I don't see it. No, not here. No, it's not here too. Let's start again and see. Web developer, Selenium IDE is also started. Now it's recording. Let's go to facebook.com and let's say that I click on messages. Okay, there you go. Now it's recording. Okay, so now that it's recording, let us try and go back to where we were. All right, and start writing the same test case again. peter.pan at peterpan.com, some dummy email address, and lastly we're doing a sign up. At the end of the sign up, we will right click and say verify text present. So this is exactly what we typed there. Now we've created a new test case. Let us see if we can run this test case and see what happens. I don't need the second line, so I'm going to use this and run it. Sometimes your steps are way too fast for the application also to reflect the text. So before the text came up, it has probably seen that there is no text. It may have taken a fraction of a second, but your test may be running faster and hence it didn't show. So you can reduce the speed of the test and do a rerun. This time it will go slow, gradual, one step at a time. And let's see if this works. Now do you see? It has worked automatically. What you could do is you could also insert new commands in it and see if there are commands for it. You can say wait for what? You can say wait for a specific text to come up, or you can say that wait for a specific condition to be met, or you can also give specific time that you want it to wait. Let's see, wait for page to load, wait for, I don't even remember what is the command for the time. Wait, okay, how about, no, wait itself is not there. There should be something. Wait for page to load pop-up. Page to load. Page is already loaded. It is just a component within the page that you need to insert. Wait for speed. Wait for table. Wait for text. Anyone remember, team? Or let me do a quick Google on it. It's just a simple wait command that I wanted to put it up here so that we could do it. And again, one of the reasons that I hardly remember these commands on Selenium IDE because I never use Selenium IDE, very rarely. I use it, wait for page to load, wait for element present, command to wait for 5 seconds. There you go. Wait command for 5 seconds. Use the pause command. Pause. Let's see. Can I use? Do we have a pause command here? Pause, wait time. There you go. See, that's what I was searching for. I'm searching for wait time, but the command is pause, and what you want to search, put is the time, amount of time sleep in milliseconds. So here you can put that pause for, let's say, 1000 milliseconds. That is what you want to wait for. All right. and now you have created a wait time also if you want, and the speed doesn't have to be necessarily slow. So you are waiting for the specific element to get loaded, and then you will go about executing the test. Now this is how you create one test case. Now very quickly, let's create one more test case now and see how quickly we can go about automating it. But you see, we didn't take 2 minutes to automate. We spent a lot of time to automate this test case, right? To create such one scenario. That means that there is a lot of effort involved in creating automation, but there are also various methods that will make it beneficial over a period of time. Otherwise, there's nothing like a Selenium that will get used in the real world. All right. So for this sake, we have to do more. So let's say another test case. Okay. The test case is that we enter everything. Okay, and I enter password also something. Okay, and I click on sign up, but I don't. Okay, let's say that I also select the birthday, but I don't select the sex. And then what happens? Okay, so before click on sign up, there will be probably about 3 steps. Insert. All right, so now after enter email, then re-enter email, okay, and then select a birth date, and then do not select the sex. Okay, click on sign up, and then what is supposed to come up, let us see. Okay, let's put some date for the system. It's a sign up. Okay, please enter either male or female. Do you see this? This is the expected functionality of the application. And trust me, team, it is important to test these things. So Facebook as a company must have a significant sized software testing team, manual and automation, and using tools to be able to test such scenarios. And they'll have thousands of test cases and scenarios to execute. Okay, so now to automate this, how do we do it? Very simple. Again, we start with Selenium IDE. Let's open an absolutely new test, or since this test we are already using, let's go and use it here itself. Okay, so here I'm going to insert new command, insert one more new command, insert one more new. Okay, actually, you know what? Just one command is fine. Let's see if I can record and re-enter the email address here. Let's say this is peter.pan@gmail or at peterpan.com. Okay, then some password 123 This didn't come up. See, the more you fiddle around with the tests and not do it in the order, the more problematic it becomes. Okay, so let's delete these. Okay, and then 123. Come on. Birthday came up. Password is the only one that didn't come up. So Jan 5th, 19 whatever, and then we will click on sign up. That is already there, and then we will say what was the text we supposed to see. Your emails do not match. Let's say that I take this text and I put it up here. Is it the text we want? No, but let's see what will happen when we put this. So now let's clean up our code and make sure that we have everything. So number one, the email address, there was an error. So I'm going to correct that. Before we enter the birthday, we're supposed to enter the password. So how am I going to do that? I will say insert a new command here. What is the command to put a password? The best way for you to master commands, team, is look at what is getting generated. When you clicked on open, you saw. Click, you know now. Type, you know now. What are the targets? We have not yet gone to master it yet. We will get to that tomorrow in the next session. And now we are looking at typing again. Okay, so this is a type command. So I'm going to write the command here in this empty cell is type. Okay, and what we will go do is after type, where do we type? Okay, if I right click and I look at show all available commands, you should be able to see the different commands that you can perform specifically on what you can do on this element. But you do not see anywhere the exact one called type command. But you will see something called as ID equals reg underscore password underscore. Okay, so you should take that and put that in here. Now, in fact, it has come up here. Why is it come up here? Oh, it was generating it. For some reason, we could not see it then, or now it started loading it. See, for some reason earlier it didn't show, but now it has generated the line where it said type. When I started doing this, now it's putting it up. Okay, there you go. Earlier there was an issue. I don't know why. Or most probably because I was playing around too much, inserting too many blank lines and so on. It is not best suited to do all those things. You go with a simple record end to end, do one record and then do it and then delete it. And that is the reason we should not even do a record even in IDE. The best way to do is start typing it. But once you know, commands is very easy to learn. This section very easy to learn because it's very defined. Targets is a little bit more complicated, but that is very, very easy, critical, and I'll make it sure that you will master it for sure. Okay, there's nothing much in value. That is exactly what you want. Now, before we run this test, do note this, please. You will see that this is a new command, select. Why is it a new command from what we already have? The reason being, the type of element that you see here is a drop-down list. As the type of element changes, what command you use and also the targets will keep changing automatically, will also change. Plus the value, if you see, it will say label equals Jan. So select is the what, target is this XPath called ID equals birthday underscore month, and then the value is label equals Jan. Okay, and then you have the date, and then you have the year up here. After which you're going to click on submit. Just do it once. We will pause for 1 second or 1000 milliseconds and then verify this text. Your emails do not match. Please try it. Is it the text you're supposed to get? No. Let's put this and see if this text comes up. Now let's do a run and see what happened at this whole execution end to end. Okay. So it is medium speed. It's not at a very high speed or low speed. So it is typing the details as is. If you see, it is not doing it the way you want it, but it has not come up with this verified text present. The pause command was a new command. We did a quick Google search on how to wait on Selenium IDE, and we got the pause command. We used 1000 milliseconds, so it waited for a second. How do I know it worked correctly? Because it is in green. But this failed. Why? Because this is the text I was supposed to expect, not the other one. Okay. So now I have this. I'll just say rerun this test, and you will have your new test case ready. The reason I took so long to create this, because I was also explaining you the whole process of this while we do it. Now, before I let you ask your questions, please do note that as you do your executions, you will see that the lines are getting green and getting marked accordingly. And at the end, you will also see this log. A log is a complete generation of what is happening at each step. Okay. So if you're doing test runs, the log will get generated. You can clear your log so that you can keep it fresh. Now, before I do anything else, let me save this test case, and I will select this, but I'll say this is test case 002 and save. Now you've done your Selenium IDE portion. This is fundamentally very easy, but again, someone coming for it for the first time could be a little tricky. Once you start playing around, it'll be easy. So team, if you are someone who's absolutely serious to work with me on it, this is your biggest exercise. I want you to create 4 more test cases, whatever you can, okay? And make sure that you put it in this Selenium IDE format. Do a record, that is fine. Put it in this Excel. I will upload it along with the video on the website. You can download it from there, okay? And you can start creating more test cases, 4 more, and practice on it. That will give you a lot of confidence on what you can do. The first 2 sessions that we did, please progress till this area. Now, are there any questions? Technically, please use the link that we did earlier so that I can give my answers through that. I have already posted that link in the chat. You can use that. This is the link. If you want, I can put it once again. All right. So already there are a few questions. Let me answer it briefly by reading it out, but I will also publish it later. Okay. How can we run the test script through the Selenium WebDriver, and what is the role build.xml file in the execution? Okay. So I think we are not yet there, Sushil. If you remember, you can look at the videos pertaining to it. You can also put that into the forum if you further have a question. Okay. How much will the rest of this class cost? Okay, again, Dana, this is not the place for it. Please visit ITeLearn.com. I'll in fact send a detailed email after today's session on the next steps. Okay. When are you conducting the test, date and time for Selenium team members? Okay, so that I will let you know. I will let you know by tonight all those details. So let's not worry on that portion for now. Can you provide all the list of commands that are present for IDE, such as list type? So Tej, here is my recommendation. Okay, I can absolutely provide this. You can also go to seleniumhq.org and look at it yourself. Okay, I think I want you to do a little bit of hard work on these things because it will really help you. If you go to seleniumhq.org, you would see the thing called as downloads or documentation here. Okay, so in the documentation you can see plenty of documentations out here. So you can see Selenium IDE itself, there is all the tutorials that you need on it. Okay, how do you locate elements, how do you do this, that, everything about Selenium IDE is out here. Okay, so you can look at all of these for specific, but my recommendation, instead of wasting the time in going through everything, is experiment, play around with it, and look at the drop down to see what you can see. Okay, there are hundreds of different commands that you can perform, but again, they're not infinite. So you can quickly look at, select, for example, wait for not text. What does it do? All right, this will be a good practice for you. Okay, let me see. What else is a question? Can you provide all the list of commands that are present? Okay, that is it. How can you record in the Excel sheet if a step has passed or failed? So good question, Tej. The best thing for you to do is you have the results or the log that has come up. Okay, so you can copy your log and paste it elsewhere. Okay, you can take that as a report of how the execution was done for your test case. Now, what would happen is that once you get into running your test from Java platform, you would notice that your tests, your whole report system itself is something that you can generate. Okay, so if you think that you still need to use IDE for reporting, then you copy the whole thing, put it into log file, and then take it with you. Okay, let's see. Instead of wait command, can we use pause? Sophia, thank you so much. Yes, you're absolutely right. Pause was the command. I was seeing wait time, but then the actual command was pause. But again, as you see, it is very easy for you to figure out a command that you need to use. The most important concept is to get the architecture of the whole automation engine and work with it strongly. How much time does it take to master Selenium? 100%. Okay, 100% will take time, at least a year or year and a half, I would say. At least there's nothing like 100%, but at least to get to the 90% level. But to get to a very, very good level, so that the market, interviewers or the job market, they're waiting for you to join them, will take you about between 1 to 3 months at least, depending on your effort and what you're putting into it. How do you use Selenium IDE to record steps that have occurred on the native window or on your machine, not on the browser, such as confirmation window displayed after you export a file and so on? Okay, so a lot of things can be done on Selenium IDE. You can also do advanced scripting to be able to handle pop-ups and so on. Okay, there are various commands using alerts, window focus, window pop-ups and so on that you can use out here. You can switch between different windows to be able to, oops, why is it doing it here? You can switch between different windows to be able to handle the different pop-ups. But the best way to handle pop-ups is not through IDE, please. All this advanced scripting, you should go into your development environment and do it from there. All right. So team, any further questions that you've put here and I have not answered? Can you please let me know? Let me see. Let me look at where's this questions sheet? Oh, there you go. Okay, it's here. I think you should ask the questions in the document that I sent you. I see a lot of people still using this, but let's see. Can we use click and wait? Yeah, click and wait is also something you can use, Kranti. Absolutely. So instead of pause, you can use click and wait. So there is a command which you can use. Here, instead of click, you can say click and wait. And this is good also. The difference, and I want to explain it tomorrow, the difference between click and wait and pause is that pause will definitely wait for 1 second every time. Click and wait will wait as long as the page takes enough time to load that component. Okay, so that is a more effective way than just click. So please remind me, in the next session we will use click and wait. Let's see. Okay, team, to ask a question, you need to use the Google form. So I will put it up here. Use this, please. Send to all. Is there any concept of object repository in Selenium as we have in Qtp? Yes. So Selenium has a very simple model. Okay, whatever it requires, it has stored it in that HTML format that I was talking about. Okay, so if, for example, if you open up the HTML file, all right, you would see that this file is nothing but the same output that you saw on the IDE. The same data information is presented in a different manner out here. Okay, that is it. There is no other difference in how the information is stored. The object identification in Qtp, which you do through object repository, this is how it is storing that details in this second column, in this middle column. Okay, this is enough for Selenium to be able to identify the objects. In fact, for Qtp also, this is like creating a descriptive programming script and putting these results somewhere. Now, when you go to frameworks and all that, you could create an element map and put all of these in a different location. It could be an XML or an Excel or even a flat text document to be able to use that. All right. Okay. Let me see a couple of more questions, team, and then I'll let you go. Is Firebug only for Firefox? What happens if you have multiple browsers in the PC? Okay. Now, what happens is this, very simple. Selenium IDE, okay, is to record and run your tests, okay, using FireFox. All right. When you want to do the record, or not record, but at least run your tests on a Chrome or a IE or a Safari or a mobile app, device and so on, you have to get using WebDriver or your Selenium server or RC. Okay, you cannot do it on here alone. So please use. That is why it is important for you to switch quickly onto the other areas. Okay, let me quickly refresh, see if there are more questions. Okay, the few more questions that has come here. All right, let's see. What is the CSS in target value? So there are multiple ways of identifying an object. It could be by using something called as an ID. You could use a name. You could use a CSS way of identification. You could use something called as an absolute path or a relative path, XPath, for the element identification. And we will explore that at length in tomorrow's session, in the next session 3. Okay. Session 3 might not be tomorrow. I might give a break of a day or two so that you can catch up, please. Assert command. Okay, so Sarita, we will explore assert in tomorrow's session, in the next session. Is there any concept of object repository that I see? I said that. I don't see Firefox tab like what I see in your browser. Where to find web developer to open IDE? Okay, if you don't see a Firefox tab out here, like the menu bar, then I think you don't have the latest version. First thing is go to mozilla.org and make sure that you download and install the latest Firefox browser. Okay. Start from there. That's a good place to have. Now, when you get to WebDriver and RC, there are chances that I might ask you to downgrade Firefox browser. I will guide you on that later. Okay. Let's see. Can we do data-driven testing in Selenium? Example, I'm testing the name field to sign. I give yes. So the same test case that we are doing here, we can absolutely do a data-driven test on that too. Sure, why not? We will come to that very soon. Can you see Selenium to test mobile application? Yes. Can we use conditional if statement using IDE? You can, but I am not very comfortable using or complicating IDE further than this. Why? Because you will anyway want to store your tests in a scripting language so that you can run it on multiple browsers and multiple environments and so on. So at that time, it becomes very easy for us to do the conditional statements. Why learning JavaScript and all that now and then going into core Java and JUnit and so on? Let's directly go into one area that we'll focus on. Okay. Let's see, if we change controls in an application UI, will we have to create a new script for that change? Not necessarily, but as long as you can change the commands correctly, you don't have to re-record it. And in fact, in session 3, we will only do without recording, we will create our new things. But before we create our own Selenium IDE scripts without recording, we should master how do we identify elements, the target portion, the wait portion, and we will address that in the next session. You can also sleep command instead of wait pause. Good, I think so, Manju, you're right. Probably there's also a sleep command. I'm not sure. If I remember it, there could be a sleep command, but I don't think there is a sleep command in IDE. Okay, I just checked. I couldn't see it. Oops, what was this earlier? Name equals something. I think this was a click method. That's why I should only use the new ones to write it. When we get to the programming, we can use thread.sleep for it at that time. Okay. All right. Thank you, everyone. Bye for now. Once again, thanks for attending. I'm going to put the video onto the website. So please do log in to the website to watch the video. Everything will be placed out there. Going forward also, you would see that the details for the upcoming videos for the members will all be posted here. So you can see this specific tutorial that we're doing right now. The day 1 is out here. Okay, you can start seeing the day 2 after a few hours out here. All right. All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for attending. What is next? How do we go about the next steps? I'm going to guide you quickly after this session. I will shoot out an email to everyone, but it might be a few hours or later in the night. But otherwise, you see everything on the website. You can use it to continue. Okay. So we'll see you back in session 3. Session 3 most probably will be on Thursday, but I cannot confirm it right away. I will confirm it to you soon. All right. Thanks, everyone. Bye for now. We'll see you back in the next session. Thank you, everyone. Bye then.